we like to use this tool for creative purposes to generate options which you can then evaluate. This is not a tool that you just take right from the beginning of your career exploration and it says, okay, I want to take this quiz and I want to figure out what I should do because this is going to output some some best matching options for me and I'll just do what's at the top of the list. So it's really important that this tool is a small part of the overall process, and the most important part of the overall process is a unique perspective or insight into your preferences and what you care most about. And then once we've got those lined up, then we can use a tool like this to generate some additional ideas that can get you thinking creatively about what is in the range of options that would be good to be considering based on your preferences. So it's just like the most important piece to really underscore is that it's an indicator to help you generate ideas in the decision-making process, but by no means is it a tool that is going to help you in a direction that you can feel completely certain of.
Use this as a tool within a larger search, and your larger search will be most beneficial with the nurturing guidance of our experts, essentially like.
I would, yeah, also like to include with the guidance, not just of us, but like people that know them well to help you get outside of your own head. It doesn't have to be us. That you can use all of the resources that we're putting together on our site to help yourself. And that's what they're intended to do. And just know that, yes, we like to use this tool, and it's best used in combination with conversations with either career coaches or people who know you very well as one piece to put together a model of your preferences. And specific to this tool really helps you open the box of ideas. And it's not the only box of ideas out there either. We like to use other assessments too to generate ideas. But this is a really great tool to help generate ideas for what you could do. And then we like to use some other tools to evaluate what those ideas are against a model of your preferences that gets built using other tools.
And yeah, and enlisting people who know you to help you kind of get out of your own head and think about what you might be best suited for. It's just an internal exploration. You might be missing things that you would actually be really good at and that would fit you well.
Yeah, so it could be used creatively with other people, like the results from this, that you could pull some of the items that you may be presented with after you complete a Holland Code assessment and then search among the list some options that you're curious about and then like bring them forward in conversation with those other people, and then they can help you think more creatively, generate other ideas, or introduce you to other people to talk to, or maybe help you eliminate some options that you may be considering because they know you maybe a little bit better than you do sometimes. So that's part of it too.
Other people can hold a little more confidence for you sometimes about things that you might be good at that you may not know.
Yeah, I was about to move into this piece about how to be using the tool to search well. The guidance that I give each of my clients is, I don't know if we have this in here, but like you get a 3-letter code.
It's in there.
Yeah. I think a piece to add into this is that I'd recommend beginning really broad with your top score first, and don't enter all of them in the search engine. Just start with artistic. Your list is going to be really long, and you're just going to just browse through it. That's really the beauty of the tool, is it allows you to be just much more creative. Because sometimes if you add in all the 3 letters, you're just presented with like maybe a range of 15 to 25 options, and maybe some of them would speak to you. It may be more frustrating than than the time could be worth. So really begin broad and then cycle through, take notes of things that are interesting to you, then add in your second highest criteria. Do it again, and then add in the third. So you just maybe like can see how the model is trying to confirm what you just reported about yourself to get those 3-letter codes in the first place. Through doing that, you get some more insight, and you can see better patterns between what the roles look like for you. And so that's a valuable approach that I found is helpful.
Great, I like that. The article does mention if you're not seeing enough roles that seem suitable with the 3, that you should just use 2. But I like your description of a process of going from very broad and creative and generative to narrowing and then narrowing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The question I was going to ask was, do you have any ideas about resources that utilize this, the Holland Code rubric to search for more updated job descriptions, job titles?
The Holland resource at ONET does have almost all the up-to-date listings as well. It's just they have some old ones too. Additional resource that we have been using recently that is not validated with as much data does come from this site called Gladio, which we can link to. And it has you do a bit of like a visual assessment and some other exercises to generate like even more options. And some people prefer that display of both the assessment, and you'll get a very long list of role titles. And they have a similar kind of approach instead of realistic, investigative, artistic, social enterprise, and conventional, they have more of a focus on like building, coming up with ideas, relationships, which is a bit of a social overlap. So we've been using it more in like kind of conjunction, and it has been helpful to add in that in addition to this Holland code to really blow out the range of options and allow you to explore things much more in detail. And the presentation of those roles, I think, allows people to see a more modern display because there's not like these old sounding role titles that you may not have heard of that are still embedded within ONET. Part of our history of like organizational psychology content was this coverage of the ONET resource, which is part of the federal government. And the government is really good at providing structure. And it's like one of the things that a lot of our clients who have served in the military have appreciated about the military is that they are very good at assessment. And like, you take a whole battery test, and based on where you are, they make some determinations about how you should be placed internally. And so this assessment was constructed to help service people who are returning from their lines of work into, like, quote unquote, the real world of working domestically instead of overseas. And so they employed some psychological scientists at the time. These were like some of the founding scholars for the field, which turned into industrial and organizational psychology. And that was John Holland. And so he used what he knew to construct these occupational themes that then were connected to measures of self-reported job satisfaction for all of those returning service people. So like the codes, the realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, conventional, they had thousands of people complete that typology, and then those thousands of people were followed up with over years and reported on their job titles, and it's an ongoing study. And so for that reason, it's like one of the most powerful. It is a scientific tool because it's based in evidence and strong research that relate to outcomes, which in this case is self-reported job satisfaction, job titles, and the predictors, which are these 6 codes or these criteria, which are well described on the post currently.